Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Distinguished members of the board, Baytulmal Investment Limited, and all the leaders, cooperative leaders that might be having access to this presentation. I greet you all warmly once again. Say Assalamu alaikum. At the last board meeting of Baytulmal held on 2nd November 2019, we had some agenda, and very critical to the agenda was how to resource our plan towards the capital remobilization. And the whole idea was how do we ensure that we have an all-inclusive, all-extensive, and very consultative plan with input from critical stakeholders. And that informed this presentation, which was debated and discussed extensively. And part of the resolution that was that we should share this with a view to getting input from all the board members that were not in attendance, and also all the critical stakeholders that this may be required of. In this presentation, majorly we are featuring 3 sides, and 1 executive summary, capital mobilization, featured ideas, and of course where we're heading to is a draft plan. Whatever we're able to come up with through contribution of all stakeholders will lead to the plan. And before we quickly go, what's has brought us here, we'll look at this as captured by Warren Buffett. In looking for people to hire, you look for 3 qualities: integrity, intelligence, and energy. And if they don't have the first, the other 2 will kill you. And certainly we've gone this far since those years, coming together, having a team to drive this. Integrity is key, intelligence is very important, and of course our energy and passion has brought us here. And we're not deterred by the reality of the guideline, and we want to go ahead. And what we're saying here, if we must get to our destination point, integrity, intelligence, and of course passion must remain intact. First, executive summary. What is our situation? Simply and successfully captured. The strategic resolution reached in 2014, that's about 5 years ago, by NASICAS, National Council of Islamic Credit and Savings Scheme, NASICAS, to establish and run non-interest microfinance bank, was influenced by its vision statements and of course the need to support the Nigerian government to deepen access to finance facilities and enhancement of financial inclusion down the grassroots through faith-friendly options. We have a lot of grassroots approach that are not faith-friendly, and that is a driving force for us. And this culminated in establishment of a special vehicle purpose, a special purpose vehicle, SPV rather, Baytulmal Limited, which called the required process that led to the raising of the required capital and formal application to CBN in 2017. However, we ran into a complication. After a long delay of holding the required deposit of 20 million naira, amidst requests for more clarification and adjustment in application documents, including share structure. Recall that when we first filed the application to CBN, we had more than 1,000 shareholders which we submitted, and CBN came now say, oh, this won't work because it's a limited liability company, it's not a public company, so you need to restructure. And that's what brought about the idea of warehousing all those shares under 6 major shareholders organization. And therefore, eventually, deposited capital of 20 million was refunded in December 2018 after almost a year or thereabouts. And the above informed stakeholders' engagement in the last quarter to decide on what to do. At the stakeholder meeting, we had a resolution. The board and shareholders representative meeting resiliently resolved to continue with the process by raising additional required capital for the purpose of establishment of the Imfb, while raising a separate capital for operating Baytulmal as an investment company, which of course the bank will need. More specifically, the resolution was to raise additional 352 million for the purpose of the 2-in-1 investment, HATS the rate of 1 naira 30 kobo per share. Hence, this presentation is to capture some of the suggested idea. What is the takeaway from this executive summary? We've had a good effort, which was truncated by reality of regulatory guideline. This is very similar to Jai's situation, where Jais was able to raise 2.5 billion required for the business, only for the guideline to come and raise the bar to 25 billion. Jais had to wait for a lot of long years before leveraging on the regional license window. The shareholders have also resolved to continue to give our best shot by raising the required capital while factoring a plan B. And what is the plan B? If we don't raise enough money, we keep using the amount raised for business with mitigated risk approach. And what about the capital? What additional capital requirement are we looking at? For the Imfb, we're looking at raising 300 million for it, and for the Baytulmal investment, we're looking at 84 million. And from where to where? Currently, our current capital base, we have about shareholder funds about 30 million naira, and out of which Shukuk of the federal government investment is 25, which we're earning profit from now. And what is required? Actually, the license required for MFB in the new guideline from CBN, though we have some other options which we'll deal with finally as we have backup plans. And it should be about 284, but what we plan to raise by resolution is 300 million for the bank and 84 for Baytulmal business operation. And our strategic model are quite simple. One, retain the Shukuk and other investments while pursuing the project. Crystallize the two-in-one approach so that it's very clear to people and to people that will be investing. Raise enough capital as required and as planned, and mitigate any unforeseen fund inadequacy by growing available funds with Baytulmal approved guideline. What do we mean here? We're looking for 384 million. What if we get 200 million? What if we get 150 million? What are we going to do? Whatever feasibility and business plan option will take care of this, just like Jais tried to do. And as soon as we raise money, immediately we'll do the documentation file, and we establish the bank and the company fully. Those are strategic model. And at this point, we're doing nothing less than marketing. We want to market this idea for would-be investors, for the current investor to hop their game, to hop their stake, and for the new investors who have been looking for opportunity to come in. Marketing is a contest for people's attention, and that is exactly what we're going to do with this plan. We have captured all we have gathered into 8 points growth tree. Feature ideas for raising additional capital. These are the things that people have suggested, and we have put it under 8 areas. Number 1, finalize revised investment. That is documentation, feasibility study, business plan, a bridge prospectus, draft and final application, and all the stuff. Developing marketing material is another one. All the collaterals, engagement meetings, engagement sessions with NASICA's executive, with chairman and general secretary, and of course those who manage the society investment, cooperative societies and their members in groups and in sessions. Other Islamic bodies, including business clubs, close and enlightenment presentation. Also, we need number 3, ensure a flexible calendar for the above. We need to have a calendar, a timeline that we can manage, manageable size calendar. Then we also need to leverage on digital media, social media, Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook page, online payments. For instance, it should be easy that you can fill the prospectus online, and you can also have a point to pay online. You can pay once. You can also have paid instrumentally. Also, validate and engage resource persons as paid volunteers and professionals. The volunteers will engage and the professionals will engage. No matter how much of volunteerism, we have to pay them something. Hold regular meeting with the team, as well as feedback to the board. Then close notification of open subscription for 6 months. That is, we're going to have 6 months to allow for instrumental payment of shares. Then we develop and implement business performance management. while running affairs incrementally like business. So that will also apply to whatever we raise for Baytulmal operations, and if we don't raise enough for the bank. We need this to be inclusive because, according to Herbert Hubbard, one machine can do the work of 50 ordinary men, but no machine can do the work of one extraordinary man. Our shareholders have been extraordinary, and their inputs, if it's extraordinary, will help us to do well. So we're trying to listen to our people. What form of things that have worked for us, what can work for us, how can we raise this amount, 384 million? We have about 30, we need about 352. So we need extraordinary shareholders to come. And this is because you can only bet on people. You cannot bet on strategy. You can have a Lamborghini strategy. You can have a Rolls Royce strategy. It will not take us anywhere without a driver. A Lamborghini cannot move itself. And that's why we need everybody to come on board, to impute ideas, to drive this process. Cooperative leaders, they must be actively engaged. They must be very active and passionate about this project. Muslim professionals that we're going to leverage on. Grassroots mobilizer, we have them among us. Muslim business clubs, members, Muslim trade groups, virtual investors, performance experts, seamless operations are all that we require. And this is going to be driven by people. And what is now expected of you? As a member of the board, as a cooperative leader that is having access to this presentation, we have that growth 3 categorized into this table. Like, for instance, group 1 is finalizing, item number 1 is finalizing investment documentation, feasibility study, business plan, abridged prospectus, draft and final and application. Here, you focus on this idea. What is your suggestion? What do you think is going to cost? Put a serial number here, your name, and possibly your contact, in case you want clarification. Then what is your suggestion? This is the point. And what do you want us to note about the likely cost of your suggestion? So if you go like that to number 2, develop marketing materials collateral. What is your name? What is your suggestion? What is the cost? If you go to number 3, ensure a flexible calendar for, so what kind of timeline are you suggesting? A lot of us want it like done yesterday. If we raise 352 million tomorrow, probably they want us to apply for file application with CBN next week. So we appreciate all that, but please impute your ideas without going to wasting your time. Like number 8, develop and implement business performance. So we need to have a KPI as we run this together. So this is what we expect of you. We are going to send a virtual input form, hard copy, and we expect between now and Friday, before the meeting on Saturday, please fill this form and return to us so that we can collate. That is what is going to happen. We're going to collate, we're going to review all the contributions, and we're going to have it ratified in a summary presentation to stakeholder with the budget as may be required. So please, we need your input. In case you need any clarification, you can contact us. Contact me, mobolaji@gmail.com, and my number 08098 306009. I thank you for listening, and we will expect your inputs